Hey guys, welcome to another episode of SliderCuts Shaping Up Culture. The world keeps moving. If you're a business and you're not constantly thinking of ways to redevelop, evolve and better what you're doing, then you're leaving your business at great risk. What does this mean, guys? It's basically the analogy of, imagine being on an escalator, and imagine the escalator represents life. The escalator is always moving forward, it's always going up. So whether or not you decide to step off it, the world doesn't stop moving. The escalator does not stop moving. Life does not bend to suit you. The rules of life stay the same. So if you have a business and you're not thinking of ways to actually better that, you're not thinking of ways to, evolve and stuff like that, all that's going to happen is other businesses around you and behind you are going to come and they're going to redevelop, evolve and surpass you. And you're going to be next to the escalator looking up as these people have gone past you, and you won't even realize until they've gone past you. And where this comes from is I was having a conversation, me and my brother, I was with my brother yesterday, we were having a conversation, and there's a guy we know who was saying that, I'm not going to say what the actual situation is because I don't want to hot him up, but there's a new kind of service or product that's come out and he said that it's killing his business. And he's right, it is. But then I thought to myself, are you going to sit there and just look as this product comes in and kills your business? What are you going to do about it? Are you just going to say, well, there's nothing I can do? Are you going to say, just sit there and be like, well, be angry at this other service, be angry at this other business that's coming through? Because this is what I mean by the escalator of life. It's always moving. Just because you get comfortable with where you're at doesn't mean that everybody else is. Just because you're happy with where you're at doesn't mean that everybody else is. Things are always evolving. The wheel started off at this circle. Somebody decided to put a tray on top of it so it's easy to transport things. Somebody else decided to put a cart on top of it and it's like, all right, we can now go into this cart, put it on wheels and then we can move. Somebody decided to put a car onto it. What I'm trying to say is things are always evolving. The person who makes the original product, as example, like a wheels example, can't stay there and say, do you know what? I've done my part, I just want it to stay there. People are gonna now jump onto your shoulders of what you created and now better it. And this is what made me really think when I was talking to my brother about it, that on the reels, people need to stop getting so comfortable. If you are not constantly thinking about how to redevelop, evolve and better your business, you are going to get left behind. You are the same as that person who was on the escalators, decided to step off because you were happy, because you were comfortable, because of tragic situations, because you wanted a break, whatever the case was, and thought to themselves the world will stop for them. And didn't realize that you had lost the market you had until you saw them in front of you. Because that's what I'm trying to say. The escalator is always going up. It's always moving forward. And you might have to stop at times because of tragic situations, because you need a rest, because you're overdoing it. But what I'm trying to say is just because you need those things, it does not mean that the world stops. People are still going to be developing. People are still coming for your spot. People are always still chasing what you're doing and trying to better what you're doing. As example, social media and barbers. I'm going to use this example. There are plenty of barbers from back in the days who were legends. And basically you could say are still legends in this area, in local communities, who never kind of like followed through when social media came through, which never moved with the times. So now that social media is around, these guys aren't known because they never actually transferred over and moved with the times. So I'm not going to mention barbers, but there were barbers which were amazing barbers and like they were the main barbers in this area. And it's simply because of social media, they're not known anymore. And this is what I mean by moving with the times, that the world doesn't stop, because you're comfortable or you're happy with where you're at, or because you've got limelight and glory and you've got all this kind of stuff there. The world doesn't stop. Things are still moving forward. And there are so many old school barbers which I've heard say they're not down with this foolishness of social media. But then I've heard them diss kind of like the limelight that some of the younger barbers are getting, and they feel like this barber isn't that good or this and that, and when I was doing this, when I was doing that. And that's just kind of like a plague that you're keeping yourself in. That's a bondage you're keeping yourself in when you don't want to move with the times and then you want to insult everything new that comes about because it doesn't suit you. My point of what I'm trying to say is the world's not going to stop because you're comfortable with where you're at. The world will not stop because you're happy with where you're at, because you're in tragic situations, because you need a break. Move with the times or get left behind. And furthermore, don't even move with the times. Try and move in front of the times. There were also barbers as well who did transfer over to using social media, but never really grasped how to use it. And for that reason, they also got left behind. My thing is not good enough just to jump onto the bandwagon, as example. You also need to understand what are you doing. Understand how to use it. Like, new things are constantly coming out. I know with myself, there's going to be things that come out which I won't understand how to use. And what I need to do in that situation is ask other people who know what they're doing. Younger people which are into it and stuff like that. If you do not move with the times, you will get left behind. And that goes for everybody. No one is exempt from it. Hopefully you'll be in a situation where at least if you don't move with the times, you had done enough to support the rest of your life. But if you're not one of those people, then you need to constantly be, as I said, redeveloping, evolving, and bettering your business. So what I was saying with my brother about this guy is, don't sit there and wait till fully this product that's hits the market fully and takes everything that you're doing. Start thinking to yourself, what can I do now? You know, what services do I have? What talents do I have? What can I offer people that this can't? Or furthermore, what is this company doing for people? What can I do to better that? And basically that's what I'm trying to say about evolving. Like, we're always standing on each other's shoulders. So you make the wheel, someone else comes and creates this invention that, you know, assists the wheel. Then someone else comes and, you know, creates the carriage. Someone else created the car. Then someone else created this and created that. Like, we're always standing on each other's shoulders. So when you see somebody else doing something which is actually bettering what you're doing, look at what they're doing and try and better that as well. I'm not trying to create some competition thing. I'm just trying to say, this is just life, guys. Just as simple as that. It's just life. So move with the time and get left behind, because the world is always moving and will not stop to suit you. Thank you for tuning into another episode of SliderCuts, shaping up culture. The world keeps moving. Please subscribe, share, like, and leave a comment.